For 2 decades, opponents tried everything to stop him. Mourinho built a cage, Pepe broke ankles, and Italian coaches invented a tactical phrase, La Gabbia, just to describe the level of suffocation it took to slow him down. None of it worked. He just kept getting better every year. Jose Mourinho, the man who tried hardest to stop him, predicted all of this back in 2003. This is how Mourinho warned us years ago. Rosario, Argentina, June 24th, 1987. A boy is born to a steel worker and a part-time cleaner. The family is not poor. They are something more dangerous than poor. They are working class in a country whose economy is about to explode. Argentina, in the late 80s, is a country where inflation eats your savings while you sleep. A country where you do not plan futures, you survive weeks. His name is Lionel Andres Messi. He has 3 siblings, a tight family, and 2 football-playing cousins. By the age of 4, he is already chasing a ball around the neighborhood with a coordination that makes adults stop and stare. But the person who matters most in this story is not his father. Not yet. It is his grandmother, Celia Cuccittini. She is the one who looks at this small, quiet boy and sees something no one else does. She is the one who insists he train properly. She is the one who walks him to his first session at Grandoli, a tiny local club where his older brothers played. She believes in him before anyone has reason to. Then she dies. Messi is 10 years old when he loses her, and from that day forward, every goal he ever scores will be celebrated with 2 fingers pointed at the sky. The boy never let her go. The man still hasn't. After Grandoli, Messi joins Newell's Old Boys, the club of his childhood, the club his entire family supports. He spent 6 years there between 95 and 2001, and he does not just play, he became a local phenomenon. He scores so many goals that newspapers start writing about the tiny left footer who dribbles past kids twice his size. On his debut, he scored 4, just to set the tone, and then the universe decides to test him. Doctors diagnose Messi with a rare growth hormone deficiency. His body is not producing what it needs to grow. Without treatment, expensive treatment, his career ends before it starts. He will be a small adult with a small life. The treatment costs around $900 a month. Argentina is collapsing financially. His family cannot keep up. His club, Newell's Old Boys, the club he loves, the club whose shirt he wears in every childhood photo, agrees to help. Then they stop. Then they don't pay. This is the part nobody tells you. The greatest player in football history almost never happened because a club he loved decided he was too expensive. Word travels through agents, through cousins, through the quiet underground network of people who notice talent in cities like Rosario. A trial is arranged in Barcelona. The boy gets on a plane. He arrives in Catalonia in September of 2000. He plays 1 trial match. He scored 6, and leaving the coaches so stunned on the touchline, they stop talking. Carles Rexach, the technical director, watches him for 10 minutes and decides he has seen enough. But Barcelona, being a Spanish institution, drags its feet. There are committees. There are concerns about signing a 13-year-old foreigner. There are doubts about paying for the medical treatment of a child whose body might not respond. 3 months passed. Finally, on December 14th, 2000, the deal is sealed. Not in a boardroom, not in front of cameras. On a paper napkin, in a cafe in Barcelona, between Rexach and Messi's representatives. A napkin, the most important contract in modern football history, was scribbled on something a waiter would normally throw away. That napkin sold at auction in 2024 for over $900,000. A piece of cafe rubbish became a religious artifact. The boy who almost did not exist had just been signed to the biggest club on earth, and the universe, it seemed, had been taking notes.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, OK Jersey. If you're looking to add high-quality kits to your collection, from the latest 2026 season to iconic retros, they've got you covered starting at just £15. Please use my promo code MAUS to get an 8% discount.
Barcelona's academy is called La Masia. It means the farmhouse. And for decades, it has been one of the most ruthless talent factories in world sport. Most kids who walk through those doors do not make it. They get 1 year, maybe 2, and then they get sent home with a story to tell their grandchildren. La Masia does not develop players gently. It strips them down and rebuilds them. Messi walks in at 13 years old, small. Quiet, foreign, everything about him should have been a disadvantage. In his first match for the academy, he scored 6 goals. In his first full season, he finishes with 38 goals in 31 games. The coaches sit in their offices and have the same conversation everyone in football is about to have for the next 25 years. What do we have here? What is this? On November 16, 2003, a kid is called up for a friendly with the first team against Porto. He is 16 years, 4 months, and 23 days old. The opposing manager that night, a man who would shape the next decade of European football, is Jose Mourinho. Mourinho watches this small Argentine teenager touch a football and immediately understands something the rest of the world is about to learn. He does not say it publicly yet. He files it away. But the seed of his future, quote, the warning he will deliver years later, is planted right there. Less than a year after that, Messi makes his official debut for Barcelona, October 16, 2000, where in Italy, a coach named Mourinho was already preparing his answer. For 2 years after that goal, Messi was a prodigy, a spectacular, ascending talent. But he was not yet what he would become. The world had seen flashes. Stamford Bridge in 2006, where he carved up Chelsea so badly that Mourinho, then managing the Blues, called the performance Teatro del Bueno, the good theatre. The first quote from Mourinho about Messi: it would not be the last. Then came 2008. A Catalan defensive midfielder turned philosopher takes over Barcelona. His name is Pep Guardiola. He is 37 years old. He has never managed a senior team in his life. The board hires him anyway, because in Catalonia, sometimes the romance overrules the logic. Guardiola walks into his first meeting with Messi and makes a decision that will redefine the sport. He looks at this small genius and says, I am going to play you in the middle, not as a winger, not as a striker, something new, a false 9. You will be everywhere and nowhere. Before Pep, Barcelona had gone 7 straight seasons without reaching 100 goals in all competitions. After Pep installed Messi at the heart of his attack, triggered by one tactical decision and one player. In 2009, the universe simply gave up resisting. Barcelona won 6 trophies in a single calendar year: the Sextuple, La Liga, Copa del Rey, Champions League, Spanish Super Cup, UEFA Super Cup, Club World Cup. Every single trophy available to a club that year. They all went to Camp Nou. The Champions League final was in Rome. Manchester United, the defending European champions, the team of Cristiano Ronaldo at his peak, came in as favourites. Messi, the smallest man on the pitch, rose above Rio Ferdinand and headed the ball over Edwin van der Sar to seal the trophy. He later called it the most unforgettable goal of his career. A header from the player. Everyone said it was too small. For his enemies, this was not just defeat. This was poetry. 3 years later, Real Madrid hired Mourinho. The man who had been quietly studying Messi since 2003 was finally given the assignment of stopping him. Mourinho's instructions were simple: foul him, suffocate him, build a wall of bodies, use Pepe, use the referees, use every legal and quasi-legal tool available. The Italian press coined a phrase for the strategy: La Gabbia, the cage. It worked for about 90 minutes. In April 2011, Barcelona travelled to the Bernabeu for a Champions League semi-final. Mourinho had spent the entire build-up making the press room his personal stage. He bullied journalists. He insulted referees. He turned the conference into theatre. He was, as he loved to say, the boss of the press room. Then the match started, and Lionel Messi became the boss of the pitch. 2 goals. The second was a slalom run through 5 Madrid defenders, ending with a calm finish. Messi later called this match the most unforgettable of his career, even more than the Rome header. To this day, when asked about it, he smiles. Even Mourinho, years later, would shake his head and say it. Messi just kept getting better. Mourinho lost that tie. He lost a lot of ties to Barcelona, and in losing them, he learned something most of his colleagues never accepted. You cannot stop Lionel Messi. You can only hope he is having a quiet day.
Speaking of those kits I mentioned earlier, OK Jersey isn't just about low prices, they're the gold standard. They have a 4.5 Trustpilot rating and everything from 90s legends to the 2026 World Cup lineup in stock. Use my code MOUSE right now to get 8% off your entire order.
The The decade between 2009 and 2019 is statistically the most absurd in 6 Ballon d'Or trophies, then 7, then 8. He kept winning the award for best player in the world, the way other people win participation ribbons. In Spain alone, he scored 474 league goals, 303 assists, numbers that will outlive every pundit who ever questioned him. And then there was the trio. When Neymar arrived in 2013 and Luis Suarez joined a year later, Barcelona had the most devastating attack ever assembled. The MSN, 3 players who together scored 122 goals in 2014, 131 in 2015, 110 in 2016. In the season, they won the Champions League against Juventus. Messi scored 58, Neymar 39, Suarez 25. Barcelona scored 175 goals as a team that year. They were not winning matches, they were processing them. The individual moments became mythology. 2007, against Getafe in the Copa del Rey, he replicated Maradona's 1986 World Cup goal. 60 meters, past 5 defenders, past the keeper, tap in. The next morning, every Argentine newspaper printed the same headline: the new Maradona, Messi, at the age of 19. 2012, against Bayer Leverkusen, he scored 5 goals in a Champions League knockout match. 5. Nobody had ever done that. Nobody has done it since. Pep Guardiola stood on the touchline, laughing and shaking his head like a man watching something he could not explain. 2015, the semi-final against Bayern Munich, managed by Pep himself, who had left Barcelona 2 years earlier. Messi scored 2. The second was the immortal moment where he pulled off Jerome Boateng with a body feint so violent the German defender literally fell down. Boateng has never quite recovered his reputation. The clip has over 100 million views on YouTube. Pep, on the touchline, simply nodded. He had built this monster. He could not be surprised by it. 2017, the Bernabeu, 92nd minute, Barcelona 2-3. Messi scores the winner. Then he turns to the 70,000 Madrid fans, takes off his shirt and holds it up to them like a flag of conquest. The number 10 on the back, just in case anyone in the building had forgotten his name. The Bernabeu fell silent. Mourinho had been right since 2003. Messi just kept getting better. Every season, every year, he found a new dimension to his game. The dribbling, the passing, the finishing, the free kicks, the leadership. He added layers like a master craftsman, building something impossible. By the end of his Barcelona career, Messi had 672 goals for the club, 303 assists, 10 La Liga titles, 7 Copas del Rey, 4 Champions Leagues, 35 trophies in total, numbers that no Barcelona player will ever touch. But the story was not over. It was barely beginning. Because for all his glory in Spain, Messi still had not won the one trophy that mattered most, the one that haunted his country, the one that had broken Maradona, Riquelme, and a generation of Argentines before him. He had not won the World Cup, and the universe, as always, had a script ready. To understand what Lionel Messi means to Argentina, you have to understand what Argentina means to itself. Argentina is a country whose national identity is built on football. It is not a hobby there. It is religion, language, identity, war, and family dinner combined. And for 60 years, the country worshipped one man, Diego Armando Maradona, the cigar-smoking, drug-fighting, hand-of-God-scoring king who lifted the World Cup in 1986 and gave the country a god they could touch. Then Messi arrived, and the country was not sure how to feel, because Messi had left at 13, because he spoke Spanish with a Catalan accent, because he was quiet, because he was not Diego. For years, parts of the Argentine media tortured him. He was too European, too soft, too cold. He could not deliver on the international stage like he did for Barcelona. Every World Cup felt like a trial, every Copa America like a referendum on his soul. His debut at the 2006 World Cup in Germany was glorious for 16 minutes. He came off the bench against Serbia and Montenegro, scored, set up another. Maradona watched from the stands and approved. Then, in the next round, Argentina got eliminated by Germany on penalties, and Messi did not even play. 8 years passed before he scored another World Cup goal. South Africa 2010 was a disaster. Maradona, now the manager, brought in his quirky tactics, lost 4-0 to Germany, and went home humiliated. Brazil 2014 was Messi's tournament to win. He scored 4 goals in the group stage, including a last-minute winner against Iran that he later called one of the most important moments of his life. Argentina reached the final. Then Mario Götze scored in extra time for Germany. Messi walked past the World Cup trophy on his way to collect his runner-up medal. He looked at it. He did not touch it. The image became one of the most painful in Argentine sports history. 2015 Copa America final, lost to Chile, penalties. 2016 Copa America final, lost to Chile, penalties. 3 finals in 3 years, 3 losses. Messi missed his penalty in the second one. He walked off the pitch, grabbed a microphone in the press conference, and announced his retirement from international football. He said he had given everything. He said it was not enough. He said Argentina needed someone else. The country, the same country that had spent years tearing him apart, panicked. The president of Argentina personally called him a gift from God and begged him to come back. Stadium banners read, "Don't go, Leo." Children cried on television. Messi came back and immediately had to drag Argentina to the 2018 World Cup almost single-handedly. October 10th, 2017. Argentina, on the brink of missing the tournament, away in Quito, Ecuador, at altitude, conceded the first goal in 30 seconds. Messi scored a hat-trick. He saved Argentina's qualification. He looked exhausted at the final whistle, like a man who had been carrying his country on his back for 15 years and finally felt the weight. The 2018 World Cup itself was a disaster. Manager Jorge Sampaoli broke the dressing room. Argentina got eliminated by France. Messi looked like he was playing through grief. For a moment, it seemed his international story was going to end the way Maradona's nephew had warned. Spectacular, but unfinished. Brilliant, but unblessed. Then came the night that changed everything. July 10th, 2021. The Maracanã, Rio de Janeiro, the most sacred football stadium in South America, empty because of the pandemic. Argentina versus Brazil, Copa America final. Messi, age 34, after 28 years and 3 lost finals, finally won. The score was 1-0. Ángel Di Maria scored the goal. Messi did not have a particularly brilliant final. He was tired. He was running on adrenaline. It did not matter. When the whistle blew, Messi collapsed onto the grass and cried. His teammates carried him on their shoulders. For the first time in his international career, he was a champion. He had ended Argentina's 28-year trophy drought. And here is the strange thing about that night. He had been so directly involved in the tournament that he won both the Golden Ball and the Golden Boot. He had created or scored 9 of Argentina's 12 goals. The numbers said he was the best player in the tournament by a country mile. But the moment that mattered to him was the one where he did not score. He just stood there crying, holding the trophy, looking up at the sky. His grandmother, Celia, watching from somewhere, finally seeing it. But the universe was not done with him, not by a long way. Because Argentina had won the Copa America, they had not won the World Cup. The trophy that defined careers, the trophy Maradona lifted in '86, the trophy Messi had been chasing since he was 19 years old, was still out there. Qatar 2022 was waiting, and the script the universe had been writing for him would prove to be the most cinematic ending in the history of the sport. Argentina arrived in Qatar, undefeated for 36 matches, confident, reigning South American champions. Messi, at 35, possibly playing his final World Cup, was the heavy favourite to deliver his country's 3rd star. Then they played Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, the lowest-ranked team in their group, a side that had not beaten a top 10 nation in 2 decades, walked into Lusail Stadium and beat Argentina 2-1. Messi scored in the 8th minute and Argentina led at half-time. Then, in the second half, Saudi Arabia scored twice in 5 minutes. He had been written off twice in his career, after the lost finals, after the failed World Cups. Now, a 3rd time, on what was supposed to be his farewell tour. His country was on the brink of being eliminated in the group stage. The Argentine media exploded. The sports networks ran emergency segments. Some pundits openly suggested Messi's career was about to end in humiliation. Then he played Mexico. The next match was a must-win. Lose, and Argentina was out. Messi walked onto that pitch carrying the weight of an entire country's hope and an entire continent's doubt. The match was tight, defensive, tense. 64th minute, no goals, the world holding its breath. Messi got the ball 25 yards out, took one touch, set himself, and fired a low shot into the bottom corner. The whole tournament shifted in that instant. Argentina won 2-0. Messi had saved them, again, always. What followed was the most dominant individual run by any player in any World Cup, including Maradona's 86. Against Australia, his 1000th career match, he scored. Against Netherlands, in a match that turned into chaos with 16 yellow cards and a fight that involved most of both squads, he provided an assist that defied geometry and then scored a penalty in extra time. Against Croatia, he embarrassed Josko Gvardiol, the most expensive teenage defender in football history, by dribbling past him 5 times in one play and assisting Julian Alvarez for one of the goals of the tournament. He was named player of the match in every single knockout game he played. Then came the final. Argentina versus France, December 18th, 2022, Lusail Stadium. For 78 minutes, it was over. Argentina led 2-0. Messi had scored. Di Maria had scored. France was sleepwalking. The trophy was practically being engraved. Then Kylian Mbappe woke up. In 97 seconds, he scored 2 goals. The match went to extra time. In extra time, Messi scored, his second of the match. Mbappe scored again to complete a hat-trick. 3 penalties, the same word that had haunted Messi's national career for a decade. And this time, the script was different. Messi scored, Mbappe scored. France missed twice. Gonzalo Montiel stepped up, slotted the final penalty into the bottom corner, and Argentina won the World Cup. Messi sank to his knees at the center circle. The image of him moments later, raising the trophy to the sky, wearing a traditional Qatari bisht over his shoulders, became one of the most viewed photographs in the history of sport. He had completed football. His World Cup goal contributions reached 21, one more than Pelé. He became the only player in history to win the Golden Ball at 2 different World Cups. Gary Lineker wrote afterward that it had been an absolute privilege to watch Messi for almost 2 decades. The whole world agreed. It should have been the perfect ending. The credits should have rolled. But Messi, as Mourinho warned us, was just getting started on the final, strangest chapter.
That's it for today. One last reminder to check out OK Jersey via the link below. With fast shipping and premium quality for just £15, it's the best way to grow your collection without overpaying. Go grab your piece of football history now.
The expected next move for Messi was Saudi Arabia. They reportedly offered him over €400 million a year. Logical. End of career. Take the money. Disappear into a desert palace. He turned them down. He turned down Barcelona, who tried desperately to bring him home. He turned down a return to PSG, where he had spent 2 complicated years and finally won his Champions League. He turned down everything that made financial sense. Instead, in the summer of 2023, he signed for Inter Miami, a team that did not exist when he started his career. A league that most Europeans treated as a retirement home. A franchise owned by David Beckham that had finished bottom of the Eastern Conference the season before. The football world laughed politely. Vacation move, they said. Pre-retirement holiday, they said. He's earned it. Messi, age 36, walked into Miami and won his first trophy in his first month. The Leagues Cup, a chaotic new tournament between MLS and Liga MX, became his personal showcase. His debut match, last minute, free kick, top corner. Of course he did. He scored in every knockout round. Quarterfinals, semi-finals, final. A thunderbolt to win the trophy. Inter Miami had never won anything in their existence. Messi gave them silverware in his first month. 2024 was the warning shot. Inter Miami won the Supporters' Shield with 74 points, the all-time MLS single-season record. Messi, despite missing 16 matches due to injury and Copa America duty, produced 20 goals and 16 assists in 19 games. He won the league MVP. He was building something bigger. By 2025, Inter Miami had recreated a mini Barcelona. Suarez, Busquets, Jordi Alba, all reunited. Javier Mascherano arrived as manager. Messi won the Golden Boot with 29 goals in 28 matches and added 19 assists. Then the playoffs began, and Messi entered World Cup mode. Mascherano dropped him into a false nine role and unleashed a young supporting cast around him. Tadeo Allende, Matteo Silvetti, names most of the world had not heard before. Messi turned them into headlines. In the Eastern Conference Final against NYCFC, Miami won decisively. During that match, Messi reached 405 career assists, surpassing Ferenc Puskás as the greatest creator the sport has ever measured. The number had been waiting for him for 60 years. The MLS Cup final landed in front of him. Inter Miami versus Vancouver Whitecaps, 3-1. Messi was named MLS Cup MVP. Then, days later, he was named regular season MVP for the second year running, the first player in the league's history to do it back-to-back. He was 38 years old. Take a moment with that. Messi at 38 is doing things in MLS that 25-year-olds cannot do. He is not coasting. He is not phoning it in. He is breaking records that did not exist before he showed up. Then, on March 18th, 2026, in a CONCACAF Champions Cup match against Nashville, he scored his 900th career goal. 900. A number that until this man arrived was understood to be a typo. This is what Mourinho saw in 2003, watching a 16-year-old kid touch a ball at Camp Nou. He saw a player who would not stop, who would not slow down, who would treat every season like it was his first. Pep Guardiola once explained it more simply. He said Messi is the best player he has ever seen because he is a competitor, a killer. The instinct to win that lives inside Messi has not aged a single day. The man is 38. The man should be playing golf in Buenos Aires. The man is, instead, still running football. And Mourinho, the same man who once spent 10 years trying to stop him, said it again recently with a small smile. As long as Messi plays football, he commands everything. Let's go back to the beginning. 2003, a friendly between Porto and Barcelona. A small Argentine teenager comes on for the final 20 minutes. Jose Mourinho, the Porto manager, watches him touch the ball a few times. He files what he sees away. Years later, when asked about Messi, Mourinho will say it. Every game, he looks like he's getting better. For 2 decades, that quote has slowly transformed from a coach's compliment into a documented, statistically verifiable fact. Lionel Messi has gotten better every year of his career, not in linear fashion. In small additions, the dribbling matured, the vision deepened, the free kicks became surgical, the leadership emerged, the mentality hardened, the body somehow kept obeying. He won the Champions League with 3 different managers. He won La Liga 10 times. He won the Copa America. He won the World Cup. He won the MLS, Supporters' Shield, the Leagues Cup, and the Golden Boot. He won every meaningful trophy on 3 continents. He scored over 900 career goals, second only to Cristiano Ronaldo. He provided 405 career assists, more than any player who has ever lived. He won 8 Ballon d'Ors, more than any human in the history of the award. He played in 5 World Cups, scored in 4 of them, assisted in all 5. He did all of this while being the smallest man on most pitches he stepped onto, while being told he was not Argentine enough, while being told he could not deliver on the biggest stages, while being doubted, mocked, and underestimated by people who eventually had to write apology columns. The boy from Rosario, whose grandmother bought him his first pair of boots, whose body almost stopped growing, whose career was nearly killed by a financial dispute over treatment, whose contract was scribbled on a napkin in a cafe, became the player about whom the most stubborn manager in football history said simply, "He is a genius," and that word is correct. He is still playing. He is still winning. He is still, somehow, getting better. Some athletes are remembered for a moment, a goal, a trophy, a speech. Others become the moment itself, the standard against which everything else gets measured, the argument that ends arguments. What you just watched is not a career, it is an accusation against everyone who ever said the body has limits, the mind has ceilings, the sport has gods who must eventually fall. He has refused all of it, politely, quietly, with a left foot that does not know how to lie. If you want to follow the story of the psychology of football players with extremely high IQ, check out our video here.